fighting this weekend. Katie, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, thank you, Carl. How are you?
Doing fantastic. You're fighting on the main card. Tell us a little bit how you feel going into this fight.
I'm really, really excited. We've travelled to London today for the start of the media. So today's the first day here and kind of seeing everyone and being part of the moment. And I've absolutely loved it. So I think it didn't actually sink in probably until today how big this card is and all of the media behind it. So no, I'm really, really excited now. I can't wait.
Absolutely, and you're fighting for the WBA World Bantamweight title on the Zone, which is pretty cool. It's on Matchroom. Tell us a little bit about like you said, it's a little bigger than you expected. We met years ago. I think it's about 5 years ago now when you
Yeah.
guys came to New York to fight for Jackhammer Promotions, the English Invasion fight card. All the English fighters put on a great display of technique and talent. Tell us a little bit how you've grown from there and to this point.
The time has gone by very quickly, I must admit. Um, when I travelled to New York, I did kickboxing. So obviously made the transition since then from kickboxing to pro boxing. So after that fight in New York, I believe I had two more world title fights back in the UK, and then I decided to have a little bit of a break from fighting altogether whilst I was at university. So I had 2 years out. And then didn't actually realise how much I missed the sport and missed competing until I came back to the gym. And then it was another conversation. It was kind of, where do we go from here? I achieved everything and more in kickboxing, and I was after that new challenge. So we just jumped in the deep end and went straight for the professional ranks in boxing rather than going just the amateur route as well. So yeah, it kind of just went from there. And I've been competing now in professional boxing for, I think it's 2 years in May. So that has also flew by. It's moved very, very quickly. And I'm on my seventh professional fight now, and obviously fighting on such a big card. I'd have probably laughed if you'd have said I'd have been on this card two years ago. So women's boxing, it does progress a little bit quicker than male boxing does. But yeah, it's been a journey so far, and we're only at the beginning still, which is the most exciting part.
Absolutely, and you're fighting Hughes. What are some of the challenges you believe she presents to you inside the ring?
I think she's a very talented fighter. I've seen a couple of her fights now. She is the smaller fighter out of the two of us, but she is very aggressive, a very come forward fighter, and she's got an engine. So I think that's probably going to be her game plan on the night. But at the same time, we've got our own game plan too that we're going to adapt to. Obviously, try and beat her strengths and get that win on the night. But it's going to be a really good fight. I think it's going to be a clash of styles, which is going to make it an entertaining one for people to watch. So, yeah, obviously it all comes down to the night. It really does. And every fighter fights different fighters differently, if
Mhm.
that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So it's one I'm looking forward to.
Excellent. And now you're talking about matchups, and you're getting a lot of support. I saw you just posted a photo. You got some nice brand new boxing gloves for this fight. Just a little bit about the support you're getting.
Oh, it's amazing. It really is. I've been so lucky to have such amazing support from the very beginning, really, back in the kickboxing days. But no, I've got a fantastic team around me, and I've got fantastic sponsors, which you'll see over the next few days on the media. You'll see the t-shirts and the shout outs to them on social media, and it really wouldn't be possible without that behind you. Even though boxing is such an individual sport and it's just you going in that ring, it wouldn't be possible without all of that support in the background. So even just to little social media messages from people, it really means the world. And even though you're stepping in that ring on your own, you're not. You're stepping in there with all that support that you've got behind you, and it's a main key driver when you're in that ring, because you're not just doing it for yourself, you're doing it to make everyone else proud of you as well.
Absolutely. And I believe you're still training with Gavin Burrows, who you were with
Yeah.
when you came to New York. Tell us a little bit about your training partners, your coach Gavin.
Yeah, so Gavin is my kickboxing coach, and my kickboxing coach was my kickboxing coach, and now he's also my boxing coach as well. So he's also made that transition from obviously teaching the kickboxing, and then he's moved into the amateur boxing and the professional boxing too. But now I've been training with Gavin for years now. It started off with me going to spar, so I started sparring with Rachel, and then eventually I moved to that gym, and I've been there ever since. But I've also got my strength and conditioning as well, which I do outside of Trojan. So I do that at the Iron Masters Gym with Santino and Carlo. So they've been getting me physically fit too. That's another component that we've got towards the boxing. But then I've also got my management team at BCB that do a lot for me behind the scenes, and my promotional team, Fight Zone and Fight Academy. It all comes together, and there's so much work in the background that people don't see, but they all deserve a good shout out because they do so much, and it really is appreciated.
Awesome, very nice. Tell us a little bit about your mental focus and how you prepare. You mentioned this is a little bit of a different week for you. Tell us how you kind of mentally get prepared for a fight, because as you know, being a fighter, mental training is a huge part of it.
Yeah, I think I've definitely got better with it as I've got older. I think that's kind of come with experience. Obviously, I started competing when I was 15 in kickboxing, and it wasn't anything this level. Like the shows were not that big at that age, but I think slowly and gradually I've just learnt my own ways around things and how to adapt to that. But I've always had a positive mindset, and I think it does come back down to the team at the same time, is that if they believe in me and they're telling me that these are fights that we can win and they're really confident, that helps my self-belief too. But no, I'm extremely confident, and I believe in my own ability, and I believe in the game plan that we've got and the training that we've put in. And I always go into a fight being 110% prepared, never 100. It's always got to be more, because you just never know what's going to happen in that ring. But I'm feeling fairly relaxed for this one on Saturday. Everything seems to be coming together really well. I enjoy being an away fighter. I enjoy being away from home and kind of relaxing in the environment. It tends to work in my favour. So, yeah, I'm feeling really, really good, and I'm feeling positive, confident, mentally strong overall.
Awesome. And weigh-ins, is weight an issue at all? Is that taken care of? You kind of right on point?
Yeah, so I've not fought at this weight before. It is a
Okay.
lower weight category for me. But it's one I'm really, really excited for, because I'm naturally quite a skinny person. So I've fought at heavier weights, all the way up to 60 kilograms plus that in kickboxing,
Okay.
where this is at 53.5 kilo. But I had a check weigh-in today. I was under the check weight, so I've got no issues making that weight on Friday at the official weigh-in. But I'm feeling really good at this weight, actually. I'm used to fighting just at the weight category above, which is super bantamweight at 55. But I'm seeing abs that I never even knew I had before. I'm finding them in places that I didn't know exist, which can only be a positive sign. But yeah, I'm feeling really strong. I'm feeling really fit, and I'm just ready to go now. And the weigh-in's kind of that last hard part for me. They say train hard, fight
Mhm.
easy. The weigh-in is the last hard part, and then it's all fun and games on Saturday.
Excellent, excellent. What's something about you that you have never shared with anyone, but you would like to share with the fans?
Ooh, that is a really tough question, because I try and think that I'm as open and as honest as I can be. So I do share quite a lot on social media. So that is a really difficult question. What do people not know about me?
Could be anything from outside of boxing.
Yeah. I guess I've always been really, really sporty, even as a kid. And prior to doing boxing, I used to do swimming. I used to be a pretty
Okay.
good swimmer, and cross country as well, which is quite hard to believe because now I have to run. I hate it. I find it the most boring thing in the world. But for some reason, when I was younger, I used to love it, and I was quite good at running long distances. I think my dad's probably a better person to ask, but I'm pretty sure I've ran for county and swam for county back in England. So no, it was that's probably something people don't really know, is that it's not always just been boxing and kickboxing. I didn't start that till I was 11, but I was quite sporty prior to that in different sports.
Okay. Now, being a swimmer and cross country runner, having that background, kind of cardio, does that you feel that translated and transferred over to boxing and it helps with your cardio?
Yeah, I think it definitely helps. Like I said, I've always been sporty. I've always been into sports, and I think it's not just the physical aspect; it's probably the mental aspect too. It's that competitiveness that you have in you, and I've kind of always had it as a kid, and it's carried with me as an adult. So yeah, I guess the physical attributes as well is that it's always been part of me. It's always been in my nature to be involved in sports, and I'd like to say I've always been physically fit. Probably not always athlete level. That's definitely
Mhm.
come with as the competitions and the sports have got harder. But yeah, I think 100% it's always a benefit.
I know a lot of times people who reach the title fight, get in there, and then it passes you. You get your hand raised, you walk out, and then they kind of say they didn't really pull it all in. Is that something where you want to get in there, kind of look around and hail it all, and kind of realize what you've accomplished to that point, and then go get that win?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just all about living in the moment, and it goes by so quickly. Like we were saying at the start of the interview, how quickly it's gone since I came to New York, and obviously starting the boxing career, it's just gone by in the blink of an eye. So yeah, I really try and live in the moment and just appreciate all of the opportunities that are around me. But it is crazy when you're in the moment and you're doing the walkout and you're in the ring. It goes by in the blink of an eye because you've got so much adrenaline, so many emotions going. Like you don't even remember sometimes what you've said on the post-fight interviews because there is 101 emotions going around you at that time. So it is difficult, but I do try and live in that moment. But even after the fight, I'll sit down and I'll just read through all the posts and I'll look at the photos and yeah, it's an incredible experience. It really is.
Awesome. Do you have like a post fight meal that you're into? That you're like, I have to
Pizza,
have this pizza.
100% pizza. I didn't even need you to finish that question. Yeah,
Any toppings or just plain cheese?
pepperoni. I am
Okay.
a pepperoni girl. Yeah, I like a meat feast or I like a standard margarita every now and then, but pepperoni is definitely my go-to. But I'm a pizza girl at heart. A
Okay.
pizza girl at heart. So yeah, that is definitely calling my name. I must say.
When you were in New York, did you have pizza here?
Yes, best pizza I'd
Yeah.
ever
Okay.
tried in my life. Because for me, it was just the fact that you just buy one slice and it was the size of your head. And it was just heaven on a plate. It was great. I think I had a really good one at the airport going back home, and it made me really sad because I was like, I'm never going to get pizza like this back at home now. But
That just
yeah,
means you
it
guys
was
got to come back to New York again.
pretty much yeah. That is the reason I will come back. It will be to eat the pizza, 100%.
That that's awesome. Do you have a prediction for the fight? How do you see it going?
Gonna win. Like I said, I'm confident. I'm really confident. I'm determined to bring that belt home. And I always say that positive vibes and kind of speaking it into existence and envisioning kind of what's going to happen always helps with that mentality. But I'm really confident that we can win this fight and that we've got a strong game plan. And I just think she's going to struggle with that game plan that we've got. I think it'll be too strong. I think even though it's a 10-round fight, they'll struggle to adapt within those 10 rounds because it does go by so quickly. So, yeah, I'm feeling really confident. I'm going there to win. It's as simple as that. I'm not going there for anything else.
Awesome. I love the focus. Katie, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you. Wish you the best and looking forward to seeing you get your hand raised.
Thank you very much. And thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolute pleasure. This is Carroll's Corner MMA podcast, and we're signing off.